If you're stuck in your career despite being extremely capable, experienced, and working harder than everyone else around you, the problem isn't your mindset. It's probably not even your skill set. And if you give me a couple of minutes, I'll explain what's actually blocking high-performing women in high-stress jobs when everything about them looks good on paper. Because the answer is almost certainly something that you've never been told before. So when a high-performing woman gets stuck, the first assumption from coaches, from managers, from friends, from family, even from the women themselves, is usually, I need to improve something. I need to get better, or I need to do more. So they start adding things: leadership programs, executive coaching, productivity frameworks, morning routines, biohacking, networking strategies, communication trainings. All of that stuff is built on one assumption: the assumption that the system using these tools is functional, that the person is operating with enough baseline capacity to actually absorb and apply what they're learning. And that assumption is usually wrong. And it's why stacking all these different solutions and all these different tools doesn't move the needle. So here's what's actually happening. Your nervous system has a load-bearing capacity. It determines how much pressure your system can hold while still accessing your higher order thinking. So being able to make strategic decisions, being able to stay aware and politically correct in certain situations, how to stay composed, how to maintain your authority, how to do long-range planning, all these higher level skills that you're good at. But when that capacity is exceeded, which usually happens very gradually, very quietly, over many months and even years for high-performing women, your brain starts to shift operating modes. You move from what we call the creation state into what is more accurately described as survival mode. In survival mode, your brain is optimizing for immediate threat management, short-term, reactive, energy conserving. This is not something that's wrong with you. It's not a character flaw. It's a biological response to sustained overload. Your system is doing exactly what it's designed to do under those conditions. But it means that you're trying to perform at a high level, requiring this strategic thinking, composure, decision-making, focus, all of these things, high energy, from a survival level operating system. And the two don't go together. And performance tools, trainers, all of those things, they don't work from survival mode. They just can't. The cognitive infrastructure that's required to use them has gone offline as a result of exceeding capacity. Which is why the 16th productivity system you tried just doesn't work. It's why that new journal you bought does nothing. It's not because the system is wrong or the tool is wrong. It's because the engine running it just doesn't have the fuel. So the model I use to explain this is something I call the 3C continuum. If you've ever followed me in Project Templates, you'll be familiar with this. Chaos is the state that most people exist in. It's the survival state. Your brain fog, reactive, shortened time horizon. Everything is here and now. It's stress, high effort, degraded output. And that's where most people are operating. And more often than not, without actually fully realizing it, because compensation strategies start to maintain the appearance of functionality. You can keep doing what you're doing through compensation for a long time. Clarity, the second phase, is where we actually have a stabilized nervous system. It's where strategic thinking comes back. It's where you can focus, you can make decisions, you have high energy, your composure is there, you can rely on yourself, you can trust yourself, and you can perform. You can start to see things again. You can see the long-term future, the long-term vision. And then the third part, creation, that's the state where advancement becomes possible. It's where genuine presence is felt. It's where your capacity to absorb more without strain is there. It's what leadership actually looks for when they say to someone, okay, you're ready for the next level. But most people, almost everyone, tries to go directly from chaos to creation. they invest in the leadership programs, they buy the training, they do all this stuff. They use these creation level tools when they're actually stuck in chaos. And then they wonder why it doesn't work. They start trying to do more and more. But what they're trying to do is build on top of a structure whose foundation is shifted. You can't create from chaos. You have to go through clarity first. That's why this always works. And this is significant because if you're stuck, you're working harder than everyone and you're not advancing, the answer isn't another performance tool. It's not another coaching session. It's not another networking event. The answer is in diagnosing your capacity constraint, stabilizing the operating state, and then from clarity, applying the tools that you already have. You've already got the tools to create and make what you want for yourself, but you can't use them because you're not in a position to. You're not lacking skills. You're not struggling. You're just operating under conditions where your skills are not accessible. So we need to fix the conditions first, then performance will follow. And if you want to see how this works in practice and go a little bit deeper into this, the specific framework that I use to move you from chaos to clarity into creation is available in a free training. It's called the Capacity Catalyst Workshop. No opt-in, nothing like that. You can just go watch the training now. You can access the bonus assessment, which will help you figure out your capacity state at the moment. And you can go through that training in detail. So it's worth your time if this is your situation. Just hit the button down there and go watch that free training.